All right, Guy Benson is political editor at townhall.com. Teslin Figaro is a former Bernie Sanders campaign staffer. Rick Cannell is a former spokesman to four U.S. ambassadors to the UN. I'll start with you first. Rick, was this a big week for Donald Trump? A good week for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think it was a fantastic week. He made some necessary changes, and he started talking about specific policies. Look, I know a lot of East Coast reporters want to talk about process here in the teleprompter, but a teleprompter only allows you to get more detailed. And that's exactly what Trump is doing. All of these policies are Donald Trump policies. They're policies of change. They're policies against the last 8 years of President Obama. And they distinguish himself against what Hillary Clinton is going to do. He's out there, and Hillary Clinton is following him. Hillary has had to catch up there in New York and call in some police chiefs to her. She didn't go out there. She didn't go to the flood zone. So I think Donald Trump has owned the week.
Yeah, and Teslin, he covered a lot of ground. 4 major speeches in 5 days. I want to talk to you about his, as Carl Cameron pointed out, his appeal to the black voters in that speech in Michigan today. He's made a very specific call, asking for the vote of every single African-American voter. Listen.
Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African-American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future. And at the end of 4 years, I guarantee you that I will get over 95% of the African-American vote. I promise you.
That's a big guarantee considering where he is right now, Teslin. Clinton leading Trump among black voters in a big way. Clinton and Kaine getting 87% of that vote. Trump and Pence just getting 4% of the black vote. Where do you think where is he coming from on that?
Well, I think it's important for him to at least, ask. A lot of times I say that it's great to even at least ask for the vote. Now, just being honest, as a campaign staffer, when you have 90% of African Americans who consistently vote Democrat time and time again, it may not be worth, just being honest, begging for votes that you may not ever get. So, at least he did, ask the question on this week. But more importantly, it's important that African Americans ask themselves the questions, are we better off than where we were 8 years ago? And the bottom line is African American poverty has risen. The bottom line is 4 out of 10 children are hungry and still in poverty. So those are the questions that we still need to, ask ourselves. So I think it goes away from more or less not just asking what politicians are asking us, but what we should be asking ourselves and asking of those politicians. So I think it was a good move to make. Whether he's successful or not in it, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any change that does come out of that. And Donald Trump tweeting out just a few moments ago after he delivered this speech, Guy, thank you, Michigan. This is a movement. He had a lively crowd there today, Guy. He had people excited. People are, as we just heard from Rick, this has been a great week for Donald Trump. Is this a turning point? Dare I ask that question?
Well, we've heard it so many times, and people say, oh, this is finally that presidential pivot, and then the rug gets snatched out from under us. So color me skeptical, but I will agree with what Rick said in the premise of your question, which is, despite the fact that his campaign chairman resigned under a major ethical cloud, even in spite of that, this was probably the most successful week in memory from the Trump campaign, because he's gotten a little bit more serious. His speech in North Carolina was probably the best one I've seen of his entire presidential bid. And so I also think the jiu-jitsu politically going down to Louisiana, that was a smart move as well, politically savvy, softening Donald Trump's image. So my hat is off to Kellyanne Conway. She's made a very clear difference very, very quickly.
So let's talk about that, Rick, because we know Paul Manafort is out. That was the big news today. And who is in? Stephen Bannon, the Breitbart chairman, is now there, and Kellyanne Conway, as Guy just mentioned. What impact are they going to have? How are they going to change, or will they seek to change Donald Trump?
Well, first of all, let's say congratulations to Donald Trump for appointing the first female campaign manager for a GOP nominee. That message is not getting out there. He's not getting the credit for that appointment. Kellyanne is a fantastic pick as campaign manager. Look, I think that the two of them together, Bannon and Kellyanne, are a good force, because Trump has had a problem with convincing people like my friend Guy here that they should join the Trump campaign. We need more Republicans. That's where he's going to do better. And by having Bannon and Kellyanne, two well-known hardcore conservatives, I think it's going to send a powerful message.
Rick, was that sarcasm on a Friday night?
No. Guy and I are very good friends, and we're on different sides of this issue.
All right, well, we'll get Guy back in here in a second.
But it sounded to me like he's coming along.
We're on the same side
Guy?
we're on the same side against Hillary Clinton. That's for sure.
That's true.
Okay, so you've made that point clear. But Tesla, none of this does any good if we don't start to see a change in the polls. Whether or not the polls are accurate and they really matter, we're going to talk about that later in the show. But that is what we have to work off of right now. And the momentum has been in favor of Hillary Clinton, has it not?
It has, but I guess I disagree with most people about it being, great to talk from the teleprompters. Donald Trump is 70 years old. Let's just be honest about it. You get what you get. It is what it is. You either like it, love it, or you want more of it, or you go support somebody else. He certainly didn't hire the founder of Sesame Street this week with Mr. Bannon. So I think the gloves are going to come off. He's going to go right back to being Trump and play to his base, not those who will never vote for him. Just in all honesty, we did the same thing with the Bernie Sanders campaign. It is a numbers game. It is a matrix game. He's going to play to the people who already support him, bring out the Trump, take off the gloves, and let Mr. Bannon do exactly what he wants
Rick,
to do.
All right, Rick, I see you trying to jump in, but I'm going to give your friend, Guy, the last word here.
Yeah.
There's so much to respond to. I think let's reconvene. Let's reconvene on this program 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, and see how we look back on the pivot. I think there are a lot of Republicans in Washington, D.C., down ticket from Donald Trump in the Senate and House, who are praying on their knees every night that this truly is a new Trump.
Guy, did you just invite yourself back onto the show?
No, I wouldn't want to be presumptuous, but it can be discussed by someone on the show. How about that?
You're a friend of the show, I'm sure. So, all right, thanks to all three of you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.